All right. In this video, we're going to go over a VSL, just a basic structure. So we're just going to kind of give some feedback on Chad's VSL slides, and then look at a couple of the industry leaders. One of the main guys that you want to look at is Russell Brunson. He's kind of basically, even perfected it, even though his name is perfected. And then I'll show you kind of like what you want to do here. So just jumping on this right away, your slides. I'm assuming that you just wrote words. I would possibly throw images on these things. So you definitely need to spice it up a little bit. One of the tricks of the trade you can do if you don't really have much is just put like a background on it, like see like this.
Yeah.
It makes it just different. Okay. It'll keep people's attention if you're going to actually show it to somebody. I know that people have those slides like the VSLs where the words, it's just words. I would, you as a person, I would definitely put something behind it. And I would put your face on it when you're talking on it. So you know how there's back in the old days where they're just words, like, so you drive someone to a landing page. What I found is that like people buy from people, and the moment that they can relate to you, like some way, somehow, just put your face on camera, use loom.com. Loom is fine.
Yep.
You can make your bubble really, really small. And even if you want to like turn the bubble on and off at times, like you can do that. You know what I mean? But I would definitely make it more personal, and I would look them straight in the eye, like in the camera, and say, listen, here's, you know what I mean? Okay. So that's number one. Number two is you want to tell stories. So right off here, as a dental specialist, right? Patient care is the utmost important. So you technically have, you're not a dentist, right?
Right.
Okay, so you technically have no authority to tell them that. It's like telling, you have no authority at all to tell these people, like, you're not a dentist, you're not a doctor, you're not a college professor. So what you want to do is tell it to a third person. So what you want to do is, like, even if you have to create a fictitious character.
Mm-hmm.
So meet Dr. Ailey Anderson. So put somebody here, put somebody here, dentist Bill, to dentist Bill, patient care is the utmost importance. And so you want it coming from an authority. So that would be number one. Okay. From there. I would literally actually, before you start off with this, get right to the point. And like, if you see like kind of slide one, even with like Russell's, like when he does this, it's what you're going to do right here, like how to blank without blank, like we're going to go right to it. So here's how we get you more money with less work, right? Because that's kind of like what the overall thing is going to always be is, how do you make more by working less? It's really like that. And so his is like how to do something. It's basically how to get result without the work or the pain. That's his whole like kind of thing. Okay. And so tell them like my goal, I'm going to show you this thing. So like over here, like, hey, this is what we're going to show you. Oh, I'm intrigued. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where you want to be. So I would definitely go that way right there. Okay. So, but are you finding it today it's harder getting? No. So your fictitious character, they are finding it harder. It's getting harder to practice the dentistry. Okay. Like, so you want it to be somebody that they can relate with. All right. So that make this into a story. Okay. Make it into a story. Seeing more and more again, story, right? So what you're doing is you're doing really well here because you're trying to do pain, right? Pain.
Yep.
And that's what you want to do because that's what this is. Pain, 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 right?
Yep.
And it's the fictitious character that they're basically going to relate with, like, oh, that's what's happening to me. That's what's happening to me. You know what I mean? Like you want them to kind of like get an epiphany, and essentially, but that's not the epiphany part yet, but they're relating themselves to the character. Okay. Like they're relating themselves. That's why like Russell is notorious. Actually, if you've, I guess, obviously I've been through a lot of his training. He uses stick figures on purpose, because anybody can, like, they superimpose themselves, they relate to them. Okay. So doing good here. So I like this idea. So just remember pain in the beginning, right? Pain. You strive to create your own patient flow for practice. So again, fictitious character related to a character. No, because you're not a dental specialist, right? You're not, you don't know that. So, you don't need to tell them that. Like, you don't need to tell them that we understand your problem. Just actually like say the problem, right? So like, if I go right here, like, see like this, like she was stuck in the rat race. She had no reliable system to generate new who to leave the man. And they're going to be like, oh, me too. Oh, me too. Oh, working nights and weekends. Oh, that's me too. See, they're like, oh, that's me too. Barely had time for family. Oh, that's me too. Oh, was tired of buying lists, cold calling. Oh, that's me too. Right. So that's what they're really doing. Me too. Me too. Oh my God. Oh my God. Me too. So that's kind of what you want to do here. You don't have to like flat out tell them. You're basically rolling them into a story. All right. So definitely try to tie a story into it. Okay. So special ed training, referral-based business is changing. Well, what you're kind of doing here is that, so this is like pain. And then boom, after you've applied your system, which is this specialized interchange, the traditional referral-based business changing. So basically what you're saying is that you're turning the old model upside down on its head. That's what you're basically trying to say. So you do that through a story. Do it through a character that, hey, she did this. This is the old way, and this is what they're doing now. Then we introduced her to our wigamajiggy, our thing. And now, like, it's better. Now you get results. See results. Dr. Haley. Yes, Dr. Haley getting results. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, again, pain. Yep. Get it. Pain. Again, I would maybe consolidate those. You don't really need to get into. In the next 15 seconds, I'm going to the content. You don't need to do that. So generally in the beginning, just write this down in your head, is that there is, let's just talk about before and after, right? So everything before, just get your character and explain the pains that they're going through. Okay. Then they meet you, your system, whatever it is, and then a change happens. So you don't need to, like, in the next 15 seconds, I'm going to tell you to go through this. So I'm going to take you through the system. No. So, okay. So
so this is where right
here. Watch the transition. So see, this is the before story, right? Before pain. Then we say, hey, it worked. Okay. Some other things that I found it works is that, okay, it might have worked for Dr. Haley, but will it work for me? Right? Because that's like something that people always say, like, oh, that's great. Like, it worked for her, maybe because she's a woman and I'm a man. And so it's not going to work for me. Right? Like, people do that. That's just what they do in their head. And so you want to show that it worked for somebody else. You know, I'd be wondering, hey, you know, that's great. It worked for her. Does it work for other people? Right? And then you just kind of like throw in like other people. Okay. So again, if you don't have that, in the beginning, you know, as long as you know that your system truly works, then you'll have to use some other fictitious characters in the beginning just to get yourself off the ground. Okay. Okay. So then now, like right where you're getting here, like, hey, now I'm going to show you, be like, okay, great. So, hey, here is this character. who is exhibiting all the same pains that you are. We introduced them to our system and it worked. And we also introduced other people, which we now, it's assumed that they had the same pains because, you know what I mean, the same people, and it worked for them. Okay, now let me show you the system. And so that's kind of what you're doing here. And that's kind of what we do here. It's like, okay, great. Now let me introduce you to the system, right? So, you know, through a story, you need to like reel them in that like, hey, you know, so like, what is, like Russell, right? So this is his actual, this is from Russell, just so you know. I mean, literally the guy's what, $200 million guy. And so, you know, I've done a lot of things right and I've done a lot of things wrong. What he's doing is he's basically doing the same thing. He's relating. He's basically the character. If you noticed in the story, he's the character. And basically as he goes through and he does all these things wrong, you're gonna be like, oh my God, I've done that too. I've done that too. You know what I mean? So that's what's got it. And like, I've done it the hard way. And basically he's getting you to like say, wow, I'm just like you. And that's what we're doing here in the beginning with these stories. Okay. So, and then you're like, okay, here's my solution, right? Here's my solution, right? So here's my solution. And that's where we're going in here. Okay, let me introduce you to the solution. And so now what you want to do is name it. You need to come up with some name. I don't care if all you're doing is cold calling to get your client's business. I don't care. Name it. Name it so that they do not know what you're doing. Like they can't, like you can't say it's the cold calling 5.0, right? Yeah, you can't do that, right? You can't do that. It's got to be something that they can't figure out. So like what I do with my students is all we're literally doing is running Facebook ads for people, essentially. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we use high level in the back end. So, you know, I've come up with this crazy name, an acronym, a system, and there's no way for them to understand that, oh, we're running Facebook ads. You know what I mean? Like, we're not telling people that at all. Like, essentially, you know what I mean? We put it in here a little bit that, hey, you know, it's a project lead generation. So you got to kind of make your system seem mystical. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you do it by naming it. So just name your system. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does.
Okay, cool beans.
Yeah, and so
you know,
back half of this VSL was intended to really drive people to selling PPC ads, but I've transitioned from that, and that's where this back half of this thing needs to be cleaned up a lot.
Yeah, no worries. You know, just again, I'm just trying to give you the overall, the big picture, right? The big picture. Yeah. A lot of people lose on the big picture. You know, you've watched so many webinars, you've probably been through so many, you've seen it all done. And again, this is like a $200 million kid. Like, I mean, like, and it's literally this simple, but even until it was explained to me like this, like in a sense, like I'm telling you, like, dude, I rode on his shoulders for what, like a couple of years with Brunson. And then, you know, I've been through it all. I really didn't figure this out until like a few years ago. And so that's the part that I haven't really seen anybody really explain it, except I did find one person eventually down the road who explained it, and it just, the bells went off. Because even when I watched this, I still didn't understand it. But so, all right. So just to recap, in the beginning, right, what we're trying to do is we're trying to reel people in to say, do you want them to identify with the character? And so, you know, for Brunson, he is the character. For me, we use a client, and you want to reel them in to all the pains. So essentially you're saying like, hey, I understand you. And maybe, you know, maybe the client that you're talking to never bought a list, but in their mind, they're like, oh, I could totally understand that. That was something I was thinking about doing. I never did it, but wow, boy, they did that. You know what I mean? So boy, you just saved me some things. So you're essentially basically trying to like the way he says it, you have to like speak to like 100 people. So you got to like really blanket it. And so that's what you're doing in the beginning. So we're trying, again, starting from the top, we're trying to reel them in to get them to identify. So for you, you need to make your character. Okay, do that. You get them to identify pains. You want them to say pains. Oh my God, like, hey man, oh wow, you really do understand me. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to explain it to you, but like, wow, they really get me. Oh my God, this person really understands me. You know what I mean? That's kind of like what is going on here.
Mhm.
And so you can see like kind of, you know, he does this. Hey, this is what I did. This is what I did. And that's basically, he's just repeating what you're going through. That's all he's doing. And that's what I'm doing here. Like, I'm just repeating like your issues, you know, since you do understand these clients, you should know what their pains are. Like, I don't know, there may be some unique pains just to these niches, put it in there. Right. But it's of the character. Okay. So then you do that. Then the part 2 that I don't see in yours that you just want to add is just add that the results not only worked for this character, but they work for other characters. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Got it. Okay. Then from there, you want to show, okay, now let me show you the magic. Let me show you the magic. And you want to name it. So name it and name it something that they can't identify what you're doing. Okay, you can't identify. So like if you're running Google ads, you don't want to say Google ads. If you're running Facebook ads, you don't say Facebook ads. You kind of name it. Okay.
Yep.
Then after you name it, then you start getting in there. You start getting into some of the little nits and bits, right? So, you know, if you've been around the Brunson era, you know what he does. He talks about 3 secrets, right? So what you want to do is you want to like give them something, right? You want to give them something. So for us, you know, I talk about this AI software, you know what I mean? Our fancy dancy, because people are intrigued by, you know, AI and stuff. It's kind of like cutting edge, you know? So whatever yours is in here, something that's new, think of it as 3 secrets, right? Think it as 3 bullet points. Think of it as, what are the 3 bullet points? If something in here, you know, this vocabulary thing, that's could probably be one, you know what I mean? It looks like vocabulary is something that you're trying to hop on here. So that would probably be number 1. Let's see. Whatever it is, I like you said this was probably built for something else. I don't need to go through and nitpick it, but you get the point, right? The point is that you want to kind of like give them a little bit of something, you know what I mean? You kind of like dangling the carrot, like, oh wow, look at this AI, boy, oh, so easy, you know. For us, like for me, I do like, look, it's so easy. I know you're busy. You could actually have your phone, right? You have a cell phone, right? You keep it with you. Yeah, you just open your phone and you'll be able to monitor everything, you know. And then when you get back at home and stuff, like, oh my God, it's so easy. You can check on things and you'll be able to monitor your money and stuff like that. So that's kind of like where you want to go with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So that's kind of like what he's doing there, right? So it basically explained, you know, this is the whole thing. Down here, basically what you're trying to get through here is these are called stack slides, right?
Mm-hmm.
So stack slides. And so this is kind of how you start wrapping things up, right? So you want to start basically the transition is this is basically the big transition, is that you essentially have 2 choices. You can continue what you're doing, or you can go a different way. Do you know what I mean? Like that's kind of like the big reveal, is like you have 2 choices, right? So mine kind of goes in a different direction because it's very focused on what I'm doing, but basically that's kind of where you get into the transition, is like basically you have kind of, you know, right here 2 choices like this. So this is kind of like where you go, you know, continue what you're doing, or, you know, go this new direction. So that's kind of like where the transition goes. And then after you do that, you just assume that they're going to go in the new direction. And so you start going with the stack slides, right? So they're called stack slides, and you basically want to tell them like what they're getting. So as you start getting here, you'll see that I start like, I basically break it out, like a lot of stuff that they're getting. You're going to get live support. You're going to get coaching, blah, blah, blah. benefits, benefits to them. Hey, this is how we work. This might be actually a really good slide for you too. You should probably like copy this, is that, people like it that it's month to month, that there's no contracts. I don't know how your service works. Maybe it is. You should talk
same
about
thing. There's
you should talk about
exclusivity too.
exclusivity.
Mhm.
And I'll literally flat out tell people like, hey, you're not the only person in Timbuktu, Iowa that I've contacted. We've contacted each other through an ad. I've targeted your area. We've contacted each other through cold email. Again, I've targeted your area. If this is not going to work for you, I'm just going to let you know that I'm going to move on to your competitor. And, however, if it does, then, we'll have exclusivity. We do a 50-mile radius, 100-mile radius, whatever you want to do. But this is actually a really good one. I don't know if you have any type of guarantees. Do you have any? Too much. You're teaching too much in here. So whatever this is, just so you know, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, too much.
Yeah.
You might be teaching too much. 52. Yeah. You might be, you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't really teach much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's Brunson flat out will tell you, like, you don't teach on a webinar at all. Like, that's like the cardinal rule. Like, don't teach. Like, you don't teach. Webinars is just show results. Somebody's really good. If you ever want to see a really good one, if you want to go look them up, Kevin David really, really cracked this, like, really, really well. I wish that I studied him more when I first found him. Like, I think it's been like 7 years ago. But if you can find any of his old webinars, I think let me just see something here. I don't even know. He's like basically falling off the planet, but his webinars are really sick. Wow. He's literally fallen off the planet. Yeah. He's done. Wow. Wow, his whole website, his whole thing is done. Wow. Sheesh. I just want to see. I'm just curious. I haven't looked him up in a long time, but I have a lot of respect for this kid. Wow, look at that. Huh. Yeah. Guess he's
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know if you'll be able to, I doubt it, because that's where all his webinars were. But he had like mastered Brunson like right off the bat. And so the point I was trying to explain to him is that he comes out and it's just like basically results, like results right off the bat, Okay, so coming in for a landing here, as you now get towards the end, right? Now towards the end, recap. No, so you want to talk about, your offer, like that's basically what you want to do here, is you want to kind of recap and you want to put in your offer. I don't know if you have some type of guarantee, but if you do, get it out there.
Okay.
The way that I structured my guarantee is I already have these clients. Like, I already have, like, so for example, MedStar clients, and I know exactly the number of leads that I can generate in a month. Like, I know my numbers. You know what I mean? I know my numbers. For this guy, mine was easily 10 a week. Like, it was in the 40 range.
Mm-hmm.
I cut it in half and I made a like ridiculous guarantee. Do you know what I mean? Like people are like, oh my God, like, dude, I guarantee you this, or I'll give you $1,000. You know what I mean? Like, in your money back, and for wasting your time. People like get giddy over this type of stuff. If you can do something like this, it's super powerful. It's super powerful if you can. So I don't know your service there, but if you can do it, okay. So boom, guarantee. So then, anyways, now stack slide, right? So stack slide. So what are you actually getting? Hey, you're gonna get our paid advertising system. You're gonna get this AI CRM. You're gonna get this, right? So you really want to put values on things I know it sounds silly, dude. Believe me, even I was like, oh my, and you see some of these people, especially like on the digital marketing world, this is a $10,000 value. Like, dude, as silly it is, and it's so hard for me to like to get over. Like it's really hard for me because it just seems like a lot of like flupping upper. I don't know what to call it, but it really does work. Like it does. Like I don't know why, but I mean it just does. So figure out something so that you can make these stack slides, right? So like right now, and the rule of thumb is 10-1. Okay. So if you're selling $1,000 service, you want your value to be over $10,000.
Gotcha.
Okay. That's the rule of thumb. Bonuses are always important. You know, here's what you're going to get. You're going to get bonuses, but wait, there's more. Okay. So like the stack slide is just like an infomercial. When I say slide, I meant slides, the stack slides, right? So just think about ShamWow or whatever infomercial that you can possibly think of. That's what has to happen at the end, right? That's what has to happen at the end. Okay. And so you start getting them, and you're going to get this and you get this. And if you subscribe right now, and if you buy within the next, 30 minutes, we're going to give you this and that,
Yeah.
So we'll double your offer. It's essentially what's going on. And then bang, you come in here. And so now we've got this stack slide. Say so now, and bonus number 1, but wait, there's more. And you just keep getting more and more and more and more. So it's, oh my God, like it's a ridiculous value, right? And then, for me, we go into, okay, great. So then we give a price, and then I even discount the price. So the price is really $14.97. But if you buy right now, it's only $11.97, and I'll waive something. You know what I mean? And you're gonna say, and more, right? It just keeps going. Oh my God, it's so good to be. It's just too good to be true, right? It's called the Godfather offer, right? An offer you can't refuse. But that's how it works. For you, I would highly recommend that you do this in person 15, 20 times first before you record it. Okay. So I probably should have said that in the beginning. This way, it was a little bit more context, but do it first because you have to make iterations. All right. You're not going to hit it out of the park on the first shot. You're just not. Right.
Yeah.
And your first 5 demos, your focus shouldn't be on selling the product. It should be on perfecting your pitch.
Delivery.
So build out your slides and then get somebody on the hook on Zoom with you and do it to them and ask them questions right along. Cool. Hey, are you ready to start? Like, oh yeah, dude. You excited? You want to see this? Great. Yeah, let me see the system. Okay. You know what I mean? Like you'll get to notice. Again, I've kind of, I don't want to say perfected it, but I've done it enough that don't waste time. Like, hey, small talk, 2 minutes, a minute, 2 minutes. Oh, great. You're from Ohio. Okay, great. Yeah, I know Ohio State Buckeyes. That's awesome. Hey, you know what? Let's hop right in. You want to just hop right into this? Let's just hop right in. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So, this part where you're going into so, hey, I just want to introduce you to, to Dr. Haley. She was kind of stuck in that rat race. What, and in the first few times you just ask them questions, or every slide, ask them questions. What's it like right now for you? Get them to talk because they will cough up things that you probably didn't think of.
Yeah.
And just be a student, dude, take notes, you know what I mean? And be like, yeah, so she didn't have any system. What systems are you using right now?
Yeah.
And you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised what comes out. When I did this with the HVAC, right? All of a sudden I got 2 people that mentioned this CRM that I didn't know about. And I mean, when the second guy said it, I mean, dude, my head almost exploded. I'm like, holy shit. And so I had to go look it up, and then I looked it up, and then I incorporated it into my thing. Oh, they were using this software. And even though a lot of the people in the future never used it, they were considered using it. So the fact that I brought it up now solidified, I was really an expert, Well,
I like your thought process there, because I think a lot of people teach on the front end to, cold call these people and just have a list of questions and just interview them. But I think if you do it this way,
You're not going to cold call somebody and interview them. That's bullshit.
No,
that's a lie. Don't listen to any of that nonsense.
People can react to this.
Yeah, the curious student. Yeah,
right. The curious student. Exactly.
Nobody's going to take their time to answer your questions. They're not. It's called you take the loss. So you run an ad, right? And get it going.
Get them on there and then have them react to this.
And so just so that you know real quickly, like I have a really crushing ad, by the way. Like my ad's ridiculous. And I modeled. Like, it's not hard, dude. Like, I shouldn't say that. Like, it is hard because it's tough. Like, but for me, I just go and see who's the best. That's it. I learned at real young age. When I learned to play soccer, my dad's like, all right, which one's the best team on this? We could see the board. You know what I mean? The board, they always show the results. Which one's the best team? Okay, great. Let's go early next week and go watch that team. And what we'll do is we'll find the best player and we'll find out what is he doing different than everybody else. You know what I mean? So that's all you need to do is just this. And at this point, like, I'm not saying I'm the best, but I'm pretty damn close. So, just model what I'm doing. But here, this is the ad kind of watch. I'll show you the ad. So base ad copy. So this ad copy, it kind of goes around your system. So it's real quickly bullet points. I play off artificial intelligence. You know what I mean? We play off that AI shit. So whatever you're going to play off it. Who's it for? And like what it does. And boom, you know what I mean? It's just like summary. And then, you go into this thing and, hey, we created a system. So for you can say the same thing. Hey, we have this unique system. You don't have to say AI because I don't think you're using that. I don't know, but you just say, we have this system. Yep. We have a system that delivers results, right? So let me ask you a question, right? This is kind of funny, right? This is kind of funny. You'll like this one. So does a business owner wake up in the morning and be like, hey, I need to get myself some funnels. I need to get myself I need to get some Facebook ads. No, hey, I need to get some bots. Like I just wake up this morning. I need to get some cold emailing. They don't do that. They just don't. They don't. Hey, I think this morning, hey, I need to go get myself some TV ads. Like, they don't do that. What they do is in their mind, every day that they wake up, they said, hey, I need customers. That's it. That's it. That's what they say. I need customers. Then it leads to other things. Maybe a salesman cold calls them. Hey, we got this newspaper thing going. Hey, we got this TV thing going. We got a radio thing going. Or they see an ad on Facebook, or they see an ad on Google, or, maybe they start poaching around. But remember, the core is I need more customers. I need business, right? So just stay with the core. Don't talk about anything else. So we get you customers. And what we call is customer opportunities, right? Because I'm not saying we're going to get you leads. No one wants leads, dude. Leads are dead. Everyone's bought leads and they don't work. So change the word, customer opportunities. One little word change can literally ridiculously change a lot. So we guarantee it. You know what I mean? And, we handle everything. You don't have to do crap. Just pick up the phone. You don't do anything. You know what I mean? And then, testimony, come on in here, keep going. Hey, boom, 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 right? So that's how you drive people to this bad boy here. Got it?
Yep.
All right.
Awesome.
That's kind of it in a summary. Are you good? Questions?
Yeah. No, I think I've got a really good outline. I'll go back through the video again for sure.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and
the group.
Pause this. Let me go ahead and end this video. So those of you people out there that are watching in cyberspace, if you are interested in this, or literally if you want it already done for you, message me. If you want it already done, it's already built out for you. You want all the assets? I just showed you all my stuff. I have it already done. Everything's done for you, folks, including all the images, the ads, competitors, you name it. Hit a button somewhere around here and book a call. All right. Let me